Hi everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Lamplight City. We've just spoken to Roger, DeVay, and picked up, I believe it was linseed oil from the supplies here. So we're going to head off to the morgue and test the linseed oil, I think, is what's going to happen. Let's go to the police station. We'll go to the morgue because we were looking for another substance to test, weren't we? We tested the ones we had and nothing came up as being the substance that was on the ashes. So I'm guessing linseed oil could well be the one. And if it is, that puts...
Now that we've got some linseed oil, it's probably worth testing.
Yeah, here we go. So, that could really put Roger DeVay into suspect number 1 position, couldn't it? So, it was that, and then the chemical reagent, I think, wasn't it, that we had to do. It's been a little while since I recorded that episode, actually. So let's see. I mean, we've got loads in the tube.
Well, I'll be damned. We've got ourselves a match.
Oh!
I wonder if Edwards knows anything pertinent about this stuff.
Linseed oil, yes! Alright. Edwards, our good friend over here. We're on a roll.
Pardon me, Edwards.
Yes?
Alright, can we ask him about linseed oil? We can.
What do you know about linseed oil?
It's an oil made from flaxseed that has many uses. Most commonly, it's used to dry things like varnish or oil paints. Some people even eat it for health benefits. I hear it goes well with a bit of quark.
Nice.
And it's flammable?
As most oils are, yes. Where are you going with this?
The oily residue on that rag is linseed oil.
Fascinating.
It is.
But I found no trace of anything used to light a fire at the crime scene.
Uh-oh, he's getting that gleam in his eye.
Wait just a moment. Linseed oil? Of course! Anytime linseed oil is used, extreme caution must be taken to dry cure rags that may be soaked in it. That's because when linseed oil dries and oxidizes, it releases heat. A pile of rags soaked in linseed oil in a confined space runs the risk of spontaneously combusting.
Whoa!
How long would this take exactly?
A few days, at least.
Interesting. It's a rather uncertain means of murder, but it's excellent for appearing accidental.
It's certainly not the most far-fetched conclusion you've ever come to.
I mean, it's possible that DeVay...
That's all I needed to know for the moment.
Anytime, Fordham.
It's possible that DeVay snuck into the house using the key, knowing that it would spontaneously combust if he left a load of rags. But, I mean, is that enough to go on? We got something. Linseed oil... Something came up, right? Report to Upton and declare... Okay. I'm sure it said something came up. Okay, yeah. According to Dr. Edwards, linseed oil is highly flammable. When it dries and oxidizes, it releases heat. Is it possible this was the method used to set the fire in the Lathan bedroom? Possible. What do we do with that information, though? I don't really want to... Can we...
Got a moment, Upton?
Yes, but let's make this quick.
Yeah, see, I don't want to wrap up the case yet.
Better get back to it then.
So, who have we got on our list of suspects? Just Margaret Andrews. Okay, so we obviously need something else to pin it on DeVay. Can we maybe go back to the crime scene itself? And see if there was anything there? Let's see. Maybe we can...
Nothing new to ask him about right now.
Can we go through? Maybe we can find some evidence of the cloths or something?
I'm afraid I need to have another look inside Miss Lathan's room, Officer Kane.
All right, but please be quick about
We
it.
will, don't worry. So perhaps this here was cloth. Maybe it was all put under the bed on purpose.
Just a pile of ashes. They can't tell us much more than we already know.
Okay, maybe there's something to do with the portrait?
That's a nice portrait of Miss Lathan. Too bad it was damaged by the fire. The area where the artist's signature should be has been singed and is unreadable. Too bad.
That must
The
have...
date is still legible. It's from this year.
That must have been accidental then, because he admitted to us that he painted the portrait, so it's not like he was burning it to hide the fact that he'd done this. So... Okay, let's have a think. Where can we go from here? So we've got the police station. I don't want to go there yet. The Andrews residence, maybe. Maybe we can do something. Maybe we can ask her about linseed oil or something.
Nothing more to ask her about right now. Leave her to her friends.
Okay. Nothing new to ask her about. The university, we could confront him, potentially. Maybe we can ask the husband about whether there's
Nothing
any...
else to ask him about right now.
No? Okay. Shut that down straight away. Or maybe we could look for evidence of linseed oil here.
Yeah, those aren't half bad. Too bad they aren't finished.
Okay.
I wonder if they're going to be used to keep the fire going.
Well, if he's put linseed oil on it, hopefully
By
not.
chum standards, that's practically a 4-poster.
Okay. Does Herman know anything else?
May I ask you some more questions?
Sure.
Ah!
I ain't going nowhere.
Okay, Herman might know something else. Roger's art.
Tell me about Roger's artistic pursuits.
Well, not much to tell, really. He used to paint all the time when he had his studio in the building that used to be here.
Right.
He was good at it, too. Shame nobody ever bought his paintings. All that's left now are those 2 unfinished ones against the back wall there. Well,
Okay, so
use
they
the
are
rest of
his.
spare canvas to make the tent.
How did Roger feel about his paintings not selling?
What do you think? Made him madder than the March air. Didn't do a very good job of hiding his displeasure either. Well, it's none around me. He always used to say he'd find some way or another to make the money he deserved.
Odd. He told me he was content with the salary he got from his teaching job.
Yeah.
That's a load of bunkum if I ever heard it.
Aha.
It is. Old Roger's about as poor as Job's turkey. He'd do anything to make a quick crown.
Well, now, that's certainly...
That is.
I thank you for your time.
So he lied to us.
Well, it's fitting that Mr. DeVay is an artist, because I think he's painted us a pretty clear picture of what happened to Miss Latham.
Certainly seems suspect added. Nice. Roger DeVay. Likely murdered her for her money using linseed oil soaked rags placed under her bed to make it look like an accident. Margaret Andrews. Has a history of violence and criminal arson record, but I'm now leaning more towards Roger DeVay, especially as he lied to us. Can we go and ask him anything else to try to catch him out in a bit of a lie? Let's see.
Probably best not to disturb his class if you've got nothing new to ask about.
No. Okay. So, where does that leave us? Well, we can either return and declare it spontaneous combustion, which it was, but not human combustion, I don't think. Margaret Andrews, I'm thinking is circumstantial. The fact that she had a history of arson, she wouldn't really have too much of... Well, it could be her, but I'm thinking it's Roger DeVay. So it looks like we might be at the point now where we've got to accuse someone. So let's think. Should we? Yeah, let's go and do it. Let's go and do it. We're gonna do it, guys. It's got to be one of the 3, and I'm thinking it's DeVay.
Got a moment, Upton?
Yes, but let's make this quick.
Let's do it. I'm doing it. We're taking the plunge.
Done with the Latham case.
Oh, what have you got?
Human combustion. Margaret Andrews. Roger DeVay.
She was murdered by Roger DeVay, a
We're
professor
doing
of
it.
art at the
I hope it's
university,
right.
in order to claim her inheritance.
I really hope it's right.
DeVay befriended Miss Latham and even painted her portrait, but his failure to establish a name for himself and earn a living from his art was driving him mad. Miss Latham cared for him as a son, and recently changed her will, naming Roger as her sole beneficiary. Roger knew of this, and decided killing Miss Latham was the best way to solve his financial
This has
troubles.
got to be right. It's got to
And
be.
How did he manage to do so?
Desiree had given him a key to her apartment.
Yeah, it's too
While she
convenient.
was out at the Grand Dame's ball, he entered and left a pile of rags soaked in linseed oil under her bed. She arrived home drunk and passed out, unaware that the rags were growing hotter by the minute. Eventually, the oil burst into flames, burning the rag pile as well as poor Miss Latham.
How awful. Well, I'll certainly pass along the information. What an astounding series of events. Although I'm sorry you won't be able to gloat to Snelling that you solved the case before his detectives did.
True. That is a
I
shame.
can find other means of amusement, I think.
Good work, Fordham. As usual, I'll send anything else your way as soon as I get it.
Did we get one right? I think we got one right. After the last
Roger DeVay?
case, that's
Yes. What is it?
satisfying.
You're under arrest for the murder of Desiree Latham.
Oh, I see.
Come with me. We need to ask you some questions at the station. And you up there, make yourself decent, would you?
Alright. Do you know what? He didn't seem shocked by that, did he?
Dearest, I'm back.
So I'm thinking we were right.
There you are. I was starting to get worried you wouldn't make it home in time.
In time? In time for what?
For dinner at the Rutherfords. I told you about it the other night, don't you remember?
Oh, yeah.
I'm terribly sorry, dear. It must have slipped
Did we
my
know
mind.
about that?
How
Sounds
you
familiar.
haven't yet been presented a prize for Husband of the Year is beyond me.
There's still time for you to get ready if you hurry.
All right, let's get ready. Perhaps give them my excuses. I'm not in the mood to go out. I'd much rather we spend a quiet evening in with you. Perhaps we can reschedule. Let's do the. So it looks like we can't do anything to say yes. So I'd much rather spend a quiet evening in.
Why don't we spend a nice quiet evening in together? I'd much prefer that.
We've had a quiet evening in every night for the past 3 weeks. I need to get out of the house.
Okay.
Then go ahead without me. Please give Anne and Joseph
No,
my
come
regrets.
on.
So you're just going to sit here at home by yourself?
I'll probably just catch up on my reading or try and get some sleep. Maybe I'll get around to reading that story in Brentwell's.
All right, suit yourself. I shouldn't be home too late, but don't wait up.
Have a wonderful time, my love.
Come on, Miles. I mean, I guess he might be tired after the case and stuff, so.
Alone at last.
If only I were.
Careful what you wish for, Miles. You just might get it.
Seeing as I won't, I think another trip to the Angel's in order.
Oh, you're gonna break your word in addition to lying? That's bold.
Nonsense. I'll be home in no time. It'll just be a quick drink to calm my nerves and get you out of my
No,
hair.
don't do that.
I think I need a machete for that for you.
Very funny.
No, let's just go to bed. Really, Miles?
So,
Really?
That last case was really something. Classic example of murder for money. Such a shame.
Really?
Perhaps with Roger in jail, Miss Lathan's riches will go to a more worthy cause, like feeding the poor. You're not listening to me, are you? Oh, right. You've had 2 drinks already. Fine. I'll just see myself out.
Copper for your thoughts, Miles?
Oh, I was just thinking about a story I read tonight in Brentwell magazine. It's called The Dissembling Mechanism. Are you familiar with it?
Afraid not. Brentwell isn't really my type of magazine.
It isn't mine either. But my wife suggested I read it, and it struck a bit of a chord.
Go on then. What's it about?
There's this inventor, he's the greatest mind of his age. There's this inventor, she's the greatest... We don't know, do we? Do we know this? I think, didn't she say he? I don't know.
The story concerns an inventor, a man who's the greatest mind of the modern age.
I can't remember what she actually
in this
said.
story, ethericity's been discovered, and the inventor understands and uses it in his work.
Ah, one of those fantastic speculative stories.
Anyway, this inventor spends his time creating mechanical wonders, the likes of which the world has never seen.
We don't... One day the inventor's spouse dies tragically. One day the inventor's child dies tragically. One day the inventor's sibling dies. I mean, we don't really
The inventor
know.
has a sister whom he loves dearly. One day, she meets a tragic end in a carriage accident. The inventor is
Are we just
devastated.
making this up?
All too common in these types of stories.
Yes. Well, as I mentioned before, the inventor is the greatest mind of the modern age. He spends weeks researching a way to bring her back. He toils for hours, forgetting to eat, neglecting his duties, forgetting his friends. Finally, he finds a way to repair her broken body with mechanical implants. Once that's done, he harnesses the power of ethericity and revives her from death.
Is this Frankenstein?
Why would he go and do something like that?
The inventor's obsession was fueled by guilt. It's fueled by love, fueled by regret. I mean, I suppose guilt. I don't
Because
know.
the inventor's obsession was fueled by guilt. He felt responsible for the death of his loved one and would stop at nothing to make things right.
But why? He had nothing to do with the accident, did he?
Guilt is a strange emotion, Patrick. It can easily trump rationality, believe me. In any case, things don't go well. The inventor brings his sister back, and at first she's confused, wild. With time and patience, he tries to ease her back into the world of the living. But gradually, he comes to realize that this person he's brought back isn't his sister. Not as she was, anyway. When he understands what he's done, he flies into a fit of madness, and he kills both his creation and himself.
How tragic.
He also leaves behind a note which closes off the story. I can still recall the exact words. This dissembling mechanism hath not the vital breath of she whom I loved. It is not her. I have formed but a vain, mocking shadow of what is forever lost.
That's one hell of a story, Miles.
It is.
As I said, it resonated with me quite deeply.
Same here. I can tell you, I'm glad that ethericity crap hasn't been discovered, or else this sort of thing won't just be in stories. You mark my words.
Yes, I suppose that's one way of interpreting it. I should probably be getting home.
One last gin for the road?
No. No, Miles.
Ah, hell, why not?
Why is he going down this path?
It's later than I thought. Addy must be asleep.
Oh, no.
Miles, I thought you said you were staying in tonight. What happened to you?
Nothing. I went out for a bit and lost track of time.
Yeah, real good.
Miles, you're dead drunk.
No, of course I'm not.
You'd be able to smell the alcohol.
Don't you dare keep lying to me, Miles. It's obvious. I can smell it on
There you
you.
go.
But I'm not drunk. I only had 2, I think.
10.
I don't care how many
11.
you had. You promised me this wouldn't happen again.
He did.
Where exactly did you go tonight anyway?
I was at the Angel. I was at some bar. I forget the name. It was the Angel, wasn't it?
I was at the Angel.
Let's be honest.
The Angel. But why would you go there?
I suppose I was just trying to relive the old days.
So why didn't you tell me you were going?
That is a good point.
I don't know.
Miles, this has to stop. First it was that sleep medicine, now you've started to go out drinking yourself into a stupor after you explicitly promised me you wouldn't again. It's clear that you've been keeping something from me and using drugs and drink as a way to avoid dealing with it.
No, really, it's just...
No, Miles. I'm tired of the lies. I heard what you said when I came home from my appointment with Mrs. Lefebvre. God forbid Adelaide ever find out about something.
Oh.
I wanted to think I'd imagined it, so I let it go. But I've come to realize just how wrong I was.
Addy, please.
Enough. No more excuses, no more lying. I just want to hear the truth. What is it you're not telling me?
Oh, we're going to have to be honest. If I tell you, you'll think I'm crazy. If I tell you, you'll never believe me. If I tell you, you won't understand. I mean, this is probably the most accurate. She might...
I can't tell you, Addy. I'm sorry, but if
Come
I
on,
do,
Miles. What
you'll
is
think I'm
going
crazy.
on?
Do you know what I think is crazy, Miles? The fact that you think it necessary to lie to your own wife.
She's got a point.
Am I to believe that for all these years you've never felt you could trust me?
Of course not. It's just that this is different.
A lie is a lie, Miles. And the bottom fact is you've been lying to me for months. Perhaps I was too naive or too distracted to see what was really going on, but you finally opened my eyes. This can't go on. I refuse to let it go on.
What are you saying?
Get out, Miles. And don't come
What?
back until you're ready to tell me the truth.
Addy, you don't
I
mean
think
that.
she does.
I do mean
I
it,
think she
Miles.
does.
I don't care where you spend the night, but it's not going to be here. If you ever decide you want to tell me what's going on, I'll listen. But until then,
Just tell her.
just go.
Just tell her, Miles. Seriously. What is going on, man? He's being so ridiculous. I mean, she's like the one person he can confide in. Miles is getting on my nerves. He's
Take me away from all my troubles. So far away from all the worries in my life. Who in the ether is calling at this time of night?
Is it Miles? Yep.
Oh, Miles! Please come in. It's so nice to see you outside of work.
Oh, I get a hug
Okay.
and a kiss? Is that how it works now?
You put up your rough and tough attitude, but I know deep down you're really a kitten.
What's going on here?
Upton, are you drunk?
That's what I was thinking.
No, of course not. I admit I like to have a glass of wine or 6 to unwind after work, but I can hold my own.
Well, I'm glad you're not, because I am.
Wait, what's going on? Is everything all right?
Nope.
No, I'm afraid I've made a mess of things at home. Addy threw me out.
Oh, Miles. I'm terribly sorry to hear that.
Not as sorry as I am, believe me.
What happened?
It's really not worth getting into. Let's just say I need to figure some things out about my life.
Don't we all?
Constance, I hate to impose, but
Of course you can stay here, Miles. As long as you need to.
thank you. I won't need much space. That chair in the corner should do nicely.
Are you sure? You won't be uncomfortable?
Nah, it's fine.
I've slept in worse places, believe me.
I don't doubt that.
All right. Well, I should probably be getting to bed. Early morning tomorrow and all that.
Of course. Have a good night, Upton, and thank you again for letting me stay.
Not a problem. Good night.
I mean, this is such an avoidable situation, Miles. Come on. 1 week later, please don't tell me he's stayed there for an entire week. Where's this?
Election night. The
Oh.
perfect opportunity to switch out one rich swindler for another. Don't know why you're wasting your time. It's not as though the Prime Minister actually does anything. It's oddly quiet in here. Maybe my mustache drawing campaign had an effect after all.
Good evening, sir. Are you registered to vote?
Guess so.
Yes, I am. Here's my registration card.
Very good, Mr. Fordham. You've come at an excellent time. Go ahead and step inside a booth. Take as long as you need.
Thank you, young man.
Thank you, young man. Alright, guys. Well, we are here. Miles, what on earth are you doing with your life? Seriously. Completely avoidable situation there. He could have just stayed in and not gone to the pub and lied about it. And he also could have just said there and then, rather than allowing himself to be kicked out. I don't know. We'll figure out what's going on in the next one. So as always, thank you very much for watching. A big thank you to my patrons, Arcades Games, Wayne Nate, Terminally Nerdy, Paul from the Phantom Fellows, Lyle and Barry Aldridge for all the support on the channel. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you next time.